picturing another 20-25 minutes. We'll play with the equipment and then we'll talk stories. We'll see how it goes and go on. So this is their brain for all of this Zoom stuff. It's just basically a computer. And then you have to, for all of those microphones, you have to catch it into, I'm going to call it a mixer, some kind of a contraption there. So that's all this room stuff here. And then what I did is that they have a headphone jack, because you want the audio, you want to capture that audio out, you want to send it here and send it into the loop driver. And this is the magic that's just not possible in every room. So when you and I went to Loveland, I could not connect to their sound system. That was our problem with the captioner there, because this box that they had was in a gym 150 feet away, and I could not run a wire for 150 feet to connect it. So we had a separate loop system from the audio in that room. And that's why you guys have, what's not ideal with the cameras, you have a really good setup here, because you can connect in with this loop with that, and then it goes into this loop driver, and then we set up, it's just wires, you know, that go around the room with it. And in churches, they just have, you know, bigger places, they have bigger wire and a bigger driver. But that's basically the loop, except for your church, they put it around the perimeter, and it should have been.
Yeah, I was in all those meetings. We did that in our church, the like this.
Yeah. So
that's
going back and
Community
forth.
United up
Where is that?
Table Mesa.
Who's that?
It's the church up on Table Mesa on the way up to NCAR by Bear Creek Elementary. That church. So yeah, I was in the meetings where they discussed the preferences, and the person installing it, you know, talked about that. So we did have this kind of configuration.
Yeah, so there's a couple that's out of our expertise. It's just awareness of it. As far as this is a small room, you can get away with a perimeter loop.
Correct.
If it's a bigger place, having it go like a snowman or a figure eight, or sometimes they put 2 loops in there, and they're called a phased array to be running through. And the problem is when it's not, for a lot of reasons. So First Congregation is the perimeter, and so there's dead spots because it's too big. And then St. John's, it's too big with that. And then knowing that Trinity has that phased in there.
It's Community United. It's Community United.
Community United, thank you.
CUCC. Yeah, it's like the Congregational Church, but up on Table Mesa by Bear Creek Elementary, that church.
I know that one,
Yeah, great. And I've been there, and I have a lovely picture, and I dropped off some telecoil sheets to them. But I I remember driving, I didn't remember the name.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we have the sign in our door and everything.
Yeah.
That is looped,
So St. John's, although it's a perimeter, so there's a division where I know it stops. So I can hear everywhere as long as I sit in all the front pews, I'd call it. You know, there's a back set of pews, and it doesn't work there. But so even though it's a perimeter, it works. But what I'd have, this is a separate subject kind of, but in terms of the T-coil being turned off, so I will go to our AV guy on Sunday, and I'll say, it's not working. And he will see that somebody has switched it off. So now he has a little sign.
Don't turn on.
Don't touch.
Right?
Good.
Yep. So it's the same thing. So this is our sender, and it's powered. So it has to be on, or he could start doing a sound check. He can borrow that headphone
Oh.
And while the microphone is doing a check, he can put it on and say, yep, we're good.
How would he do that?
He would borrow a receiver. The church should have some receivers,
We
just
don't
like
have
a-
any of those.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Isn't that interesting?
So no one can test it. Okay.
Yep.
I have
I wonder
never
if ours
seen
does.
those
So
at our
those,
church.
yep. So those are for people who don't wear hearing aids, because a lot of, I don't have hearing loss.
Oh.
I can't hear so well, but I'm
People just
okay."
mumble.
Yeah, people mumble, yep. And so, and even like the UCC church in Denver, they said, we have 5 people, we don't have enough packs, where do we get more of them?
I see.
And they're just universal, they're just a box with a receiver. And they're about $100 or so.
Is
plus
it
or
just
minus.
called a T-coil receiver? What's it called?
It's a hearing loop receiver.
Hearing loop receiver?
Hearing loop receiver. Okay, I wonder if our church has one or more.
Right,
I will
Right.
find out.
right. And it helps for people that don't have the telecoils or people that don't have
Correct.
the
Yeah.
hearing aids.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Send me a picture or I'll take a picture.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing when we were setting this up that I do want to mention, anytime you're dealing with electronics, forget about what this is, but anything with electronics, you always want to ground yourself before you touch it, because you don't want an electrical discharge. Just to ground yourself. And then the second thing is, I was working with both of you, I'll try to smile, is that you want to plug in, you want to set up everything, and the last thing you do is turn on the power. Because again, you don't want a discharge, accidental discharge going, and doing something weird.
Yeah.
But that's all this is we have, this is the audio coming in, this is the power, this is the loop itself, and this is the microphone.
How much?
Can you say that?
So the question is, how much this costs? So this one is really designed for like a living room, and they're about $300. So they're pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So you get it, it's all about the bigger the room and putting it in permanently. Like this room would be pretty easy to put one in because they're carpet tiles.
Yeah.
You just pull up the tile, and the floor could have a loop around the perimeter doing that. Or anytime there's they're doing a remodel, it's a new
Good
carpet.
opportunity.
Yeah, good opportunity, you put it in. Mm-hmm.
But you have to have a mic and you have to have one person speaking at a time. See, one of my biggest problems is my family comes over for dinner.
Oh.
They're all talking at once.
Yeah.
And they're all talking at once, excuse me, and I can't follow the conversation.
Right.
Yeah, and then that's not a technology issue, that's a how people are, and
Right.
working with them for communication.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can we go, can you point back at the box and slowly label where each wire's going? I'm gonna tape that, okay.
Yeah, happy to, and then there's a little bit of a diagram. I can also supplement with that, but I'll be glad to do it. So over here, it's labeled microphone, and then we have line in. So you have to have that's where the sound comes in. And then the 2 red wires are the hearing loop,
Okay.
and then the last one over here is
Yeah.
power.
That's the red one in and out?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, not necessarily in and out. It makes the loop. It literally makes a loop. But
I
it's
get
not
it.
so matter because it's creating a field
Okay, I
of
got
electricity.
it. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions about this setup or anything? I mean, doesn't matter. It's all this basic concept of you have to have some kind of a driver somewhere to push that sound, and it has to be on.
So it doesn't matter whether the loop is up around the ceiling or under the floor.
Mm-mm.
and it can be under carpet tiles. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
really good question. So and that's gonna be the installer because they have specifications like 4 feet up, i.e. you're sitting there. You know, they're measuring the distance between that telecoil and that wire. And so if it's here, this ceiling, yeah, they could probably put one here. But then if it's a vaulted ceiling,
No.
Oh,
you
okay.
can't. Or if they go crawling around up in there and there's a lot of electrical wires,
Oh, yeah.
that
Mhm.
could cause interference and say, oh, nope, down in the floor would be better.
Oh, okay, I see, yeah.
So that's where they do site consultations. They're usually free and figure out
Right.
what's there in the room.
Just thinking, sometimes things happen and the floor gets wet. And then that could be problematic, but I forgot all about all the wiring up in the ceiling and things.
Yeah.
Either way, it's,
Yeah, it's there and wet. Haven't heard a problem, but it is wires and so
Yeah.
it happens. They can also do like groove cement for like an old cathedral. Come through and groove the cement and put the
Yeah.
wire in and then plug it and good to go.
so,
So all of those microphones, like here, we have whatever, there's at least 3 microphones in this room. They're all wired to go into the mixer. So all 3 go into there, or like you said, all 8 of them go into there. And then it's just the line out, or the headphones, that then drive that.
So it's a question of what the distribution of microphone access to the wire.
what I've also noticed from being on city council and watching lots of people talk is people think that they can talk like this.
Yes.
Or like this, or like this, and it needs to be about 4 inches in front of your face.
Yeah.
Yep, so there's another one, 2 microphones, 2 videos, the right microphone, and the right use
Yeah,
of that microphone. Absolutely.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to that point, it is amazing to me how many public servants don't know how to use a mic,
Right,
you know?
right, right.
Come on. So then I stand up and I say,
Could you hold the microphone?
put your mic up here so I can hear you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's surprising.
It's, yeah, and they don't realize as people with typical hearing how important it is.
Mhm.
Okay, so I have 4 counter loops here and I'm gonna just move over.